has several reminders that we aren't meant to live small, scared lives. We are meant, Hill would tell us, to have a passion, definite aim that burns a powerful flame in our hearts. That fire fuels us to wake each day with enthusiasm and make as many positive choices toward that goal as we can. We can overcome our fears, our alibis, and our procrastination. How? Keep listening. Adversity, a blessing in disguise. Friend, do not become discouraged, disappointed, and disheartened if the seemingly cruel hand of fate knocks you off of your feet. Maybe the blow will prove to be the greatest blessing that ever came your way. It has happened to many, and doubtless it will happen to you. When the dark clouds of despair have darkened the pathway of life's progress, that behind each dark cloud is a silver lining, if we only learn how to see it. There were two men who established and built up an enormously successful commercial institution. They owned the stock in the company about equally. One of the men, who had lots of initiative, began selling off some of his stock, thus enjoying for personal use a large amount of ready cash from the proceeds. His associate in the business, who didn't possess quite so much initiative, wanted to sell some of his personal stock, that he might also enjoy some ready cash from the proceeds. But not a dollar could he sell. He appealed to his associate, who was finding a ready market for his stock, requesting the associate to help him dispose of his stock. But the associate refused, suggesting that he do his own selling. This refusal resulted in a serious disagreement between the two men, which finally ended in a complete dissolution of their friendly business relations. Now let us see what happens. The one who could not find a market for his stock was the fortunate one in the final crisis. The one with the ready initiative, who sold his stock, sold with it by so doing his voice in the management of the business. When the climax was reached in their disagreement, the one who couldn't sell his stock naturally had, by force of circumstances, the control of the business. So he used his power to his own salvation and to the great detriment of his associate, by voting him out of the presidency of the corporation and voting himself into that office. The fact that he couldn't sell his stock was a blessing in disguise. There was once a young man who was president of a corporation which was making lots of money. He owned automobiles, had servants, and all the other luxuries which go with a successful business. He trusted his banker too far by borrowing money for expansion purposes. The banker wanted this young man's interest in the corporation because he knew the young man was making lots of money, and the banker happened to be dishonest. In the 1907 Roosevelt panic, he saw his chance and closed him out. It seemed like a dark day for the young man. All was lost. But watch the roulette wheel of destiny as it spins around by the force of the hand of fate. His loss forced him to go back to the practice of law. This brought him in touch with $1 million corporation, which employed him at a salary of $5,000 a year, a salary which he wouldn't have thought of accepting from an outsider while he was in control of his own business. This brought him to the Middle West, and likewise in touch with the big opportunity of his life. So his loss proved a blessing in disguise, for it literally drove him into a greater success. A young bank clerk was discharged on account of his habit of drawing pictures of automobiles and sketching mechanical parts of automobiles during business hours. The loss of his job was quite a shock to him, for he supported his mother and two sisters from his small earnings as a bank clerk. The loss of his bank job was the greatest blessing that ever came to him, for 6 months later, he invented an automobile part which made him a fortune. He is now president of the largest automobile accessories companies in America. His clerks are all supplied with desk pads and pencils, with instructions to do all the drawing of automobiles they wish, and to submit to him any new ideas for improvements of automobile parts. Any of their ideas which he uses